Pavel, great to see you. Thanks for the invitation here to your 5-Axis fair. Something TGS are doing this week. I mean, what are attendees going to see? What are you showing?
First of all, we will see you first time in here. Yeah, so that's for me the biggest adventure. And second, you will see our industry, because TGS is kind of representing what is in the industry happening generally. So it will be also your perspective, how you will see the Czech Republic, how you will see our current stage of our business environment and industry environment.
Yeah, because it's fair to say, us being here talking about 5-Axis technology isn't really what we've come for. It's about exploring the economy. It's about exploring, what is being described as kind of one of the powerhouses of Europe, really, isn't it, the Czech Republic at the moment?
We use the 5-Axis because 5-Axis means complexity. And current industry needs, the parts are becoming more and more complicated, and also the task from the business side is more and more complicated. And we have to, in the industry, we have to produce products which are complicated, are complex. We need a lot of other professions than we got used to before. Not only machine tools, but we have also a lot of software, a lot of other technology, a lot of plastic, a lot of carbon fibers. That's what we are discussing right now here.
And we'll see a bit of that as we tour around. But my point about the industry here, when it comes to Europe, you're quite big in the automotive sector, or were, but it's struggling. So you must be looking at higher value industries now. Is that what your solutions are going into?
Automotive is a big issue in the East generally. But what was happening, maybe I will come back 30 years ago, when the Czech Republic enters the Western society. And we came with some production ability. And the automotive was quick enough, they took the advantage to place the production in the East. So we have been living 20, 30 years. We've been supplying the Western society with the parts. Yeah? And finally, this situation ends. And automotive, of course, is the biggest part of this production is coming to automotive. And now is the time when for 30 years we have been supplying capacity. Yeah? And nobody needed from us invention and technology and some creativity. So finally now the time is coming.
That's good, and that's what we're going to see. I mean, Pavel, let's just look in, to start with here, something like you're putting together here. Now, this takes a lot of work, a lot of skills. What would this be for, and how would you go about, winning some work like this?
It means a lot of adventure first, because TGS is a special climate. We are developing technology, developing things, and supplying to production companies. And on the production side, there is no time to make mistake. Yeah? So now we can afford it here. Yeah? We can take an idea, we can make it, then see that the idea wasn't probably that perfect. So we have to come back and rebuild it and do it again.
And this is, you founded this company 30 years ago. Congratulations. I mean, a fabulous event here this week that's showing off about 50 partners that you've got here. Let's move this way. I mean, something like I see there, where would that be going, that cell that we look at? It's obviously some high value manufacturing and unmanned running. Yeah.
It's the reason why we are producing such equipment and such a machine is always when we go to the production field and we are discussing and we find some possibility that we can automate something or bring it to not only the automation but also to bring it to better technical level, for example, avoid mistakes or increase the performance of the parts. Yeah.
Because here we can see you're making your own cutting tools as well. Now, in a lot of places we go, a machine tool supplier will sell a machine and they'll sell someone else's cutting tool and put that together. But here, it looks like you're creating the whole package.
That's a very successful model as well. But we do our own cutting tools, not because we want to fight with Chinese. but we do it because if we are creating technology, and at the final stage, we need a geometry which reflects all these steps which we prepared before. We plan it somehow, and then we find out we need a little bit forces this way, we need a little bit that, a little bit surface like that. And that's exactly the job for geometry, the final geometry of the tool.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible to see it all as a complete package. Let's move this way, because you're also not just into metal cutting. There's also 3D printing, which we'll be able to see here. This is something you embarked on not so long ago, I believe, and that's led and fed by demand. People wanted 3D printed solutions and 3D printed parts.
You are touching the ticklish point of machinist, because all of us are coming from metal, and now we see big invasion of light materials. To be honest, I didn't like it before, but we have to respect, because there's a lot of advantages.
And I mean, something like this then, this is something that, wow, just looking there. So what would you be printing in something like this? What would you be involved in?
We are developing the technology, that's a first, and also beside that, we have to develop the product, which is for printing a good one, and which is where we can find the advantages with this technology. Because basically we are printing product which already exists. It means there is already some competitive technology which create the part. So we are bringing new technology and we are trying to replace it. And till now, the most developed product is a molding. Every time when you need a mold, doesn't matter if it's for cardboard fiber or some pressing mold, you can replace it, or potentially some of them, you can replace it with a plastic, because we are printing with temperature of about 400 degrees. So we are very close to the aluminium condition. Yeah. And we can use it also in the temperature between 100, some of the materials 200 degrees.
Now, but something like this though, just to give me a sense of understanding, this is, you are making something here for yourselves to offer a 3D printing service, or you are creating a 3D printing cell to provide somebody to make that service, or both?
We don't spend that much time to create the machine itself, because it's bought it and from seed, the extruder, and they are quite highly developed for extrusion. And it's, in this case, it's on the robot, but you can have it on any other equipment. You can have it on machine. Important is to develop the functionality and also the limits. So now for almost more than 1.5 years, we are checking where are the limits.
Yeah. And this is what you can do here, where you
that's
can't
what
do
we
it in the production environment.
Yeah, you will see a lot of mess. What we did, we already printed and we didn't succeed.
But that's how you advance, isn't it? By pushing things to the limit, being able to experiment, being able to challenge yourself, which doing that in a machine shop is tough, because
it costs money, but this is the only way. And also when the technology is already in production, it have to produce certain job. Yeah. And always when you jump a little bit on the side, you got the troubles, and you don't know that you damage whatever. So we are delegated to finding the limits.
Now I want to just, before we end this fight, get a little bit more out about the company, because you are a machine tool supplier. You can come to TGS and buy an Aubameyang, a Kitamura machine, potentially out of a box, I guess, if you wanted to. But also, you're a business that will turn that into a fully functioning cell for someone to make a specific part. But you'll also make parts for people as well in your production area. So you're kind of from an A to Z. Is that?
We don't want to be competitive to ourselves, But what we are making here is a metal cutting fitness. Oh, and it's on our machine. Every time when we are testing technology, we go first and we test it at home. We make the mistake here. We We test the technology itself, and then we move it on the customer side. That's the first reason. Second is that we are prototyping. A lot of the production which is on the market and can be produced need to be tested first if this is the right way. And usually production companies, they are not used to it, such a research kind of development of production.
It's like a research development centre, isn't it? Helping Czech manufacturing. Now, just tell us finally, what are the constraints that you find in the Czech Republic? What are the problems that you believe you have as a nation that maybe don't help you in manufacturing, but maybe you guys are trying to overcome?
Well, you mentioned the transition before, and you came in the time when TGS was delivering machine. For 30 years, it was a normal business, delivering machines, a little bit of technology. But currently, the market doesn't need this anymore. The market cannot afford it. There is a lot of capacity, and the capacity is looking for new products. And they need flexibility, And in the production side, the important parameter was the price. There was no possibility to invest into the flexibility and have some potential for other technologies. So now we are in the transition time. We are delivering and developing procedures, working procedures, which the companies are missing. They have maybe part of it. They have only machine. They have only whatever. And we are trying to set up the whole chain of production and delivering to the parts which can afford it.
And going forward, the Czech Republic as a manufacturing nation, what's the future and how do you get to where you want to be? Because there are depressed markets around Europe at the moment. I mentioned at the start that you're a bit of a powerhouse. You know, a lot of your GDP is manufacturing. So how do you advance to that sort of becoming, you know, a leader in what you do here as a country?
So from my perspective, all of us, it doesn't matter if it's Eastern Europe, but also Western, we are suffering because we are losing the volume production and the batches will be lower. And this is exactly the opportunity for all the producers to get oriented and to get a new job, because there were no time for such a small batches in the high time of production to take care of special product or customization and maybe more sophisticated, because everyone was living from the volume.
But Pavel, if I'm looking at the Czech Republic now and I'm trying to establish for our viewers why, let's say if I was working in a different economy, a different country, why would I pick up my machining or my machine shop and bring it here, you know, to make my parts here? Why would I do that? What would be the answer to that?
The previous reason was the price, and it's over. But the same transition like Eastern Europe is doing, the same is happening in the Western Europe, because all the supply chain are not collapsing probably, but reorganizing. And if we see what is happening, starting with COVID, then with Green Deal, then with war, with a lot of things, and automotive, of course, everything leads to changes. In the supply chain will be happened in the future, and the same will happen in Western Europe. Right when you have a product, you have a market position, and you need to fill up the gap on the market. In the previous way was that you ask some supplier and the supplier is supplying what they can. Now is the situation different. You don't have that much time. If there is a gap, you have to fill it up. So if you have a product, you have to surround the products with technology, with knowledge, with capacity, and make it as fast as possible. So, and Czech Republic is exactly the place where this can happen.
You talked as well about defence sector. That's quite crucial to everybody now, with most European countries up in their spend on defence. You guys are quite involved in that as well, aren't you?
The defence country. Yes, of course we are involved, but the industry itself didn't talk to the defence sector before. There is no communication channels. We don't understand each other. They cannot ask machine tool company to provide something for them, because it's completely different way. we are ready to work with drawings, and the defense sector doesn't have any drawings. They have just demand. They need some functionality. Yeah? So we have to establish a bridge, communication bridge between the defense sector and the production and the technology. And if they need some functions at the end, they have to explain it to us. We have to pack this function into the product and then make it happen.
And that takes a lot of skill and expertise. That's not something everybody...
And a lot of adventure, a lot of adventure.
For you then, Pavel, just describe, I guess in the end, your business here and what it is that TGS are very good at and what that message is that you want to put across about why we're here and why the Czech Republic is an economy that people should be following, be interested in, and potentially participate with.
We became lazy during the years, during the years of constantly growing production. But still, from the previous time and also from the communist time, there is an ability for a quick adaptation and reconstruction of the economy. And I'm glad that the time came again, and we have to adapt ourselves on the new condition. And I think we have really the advantage that we can do that. Yeah? We will see it in the next years.
Well, I wish you every success. It's been a fascinating insight into the country, into what you do. I haven't been to many engineering companies that provide such an extensive service as you do here. Clearly, that's why there's so many people here. So thank you for the invitation this week. And
your feedback is interesting. Yeah, I would hear it.
Yes. Well, that to me, it's great to see so many people here engaged. You've had 400 people here. You're offering a whole range of machining options and all the options with the machine in order to provide a complete process and engineer it yourself, which I think is a very compelling selling argument for people watching.
I don't know if you can catch it, but the 400 people, those are really the right ones, They are not people who just walk by.
Yeah.
Those are the people who really understand, and if we are discussing, if we are communicating together how we can do that, that's bringing us really on the top.
Yeah. And what was that drink you gave me earlier? What was
Plum
it?
liquor, typical Czech.
Still, it was fantastic.
We will do it next time.
We'll do it next time. We'll do it later as well. Thank you very much, Pavel. Much
Thank you.
appreciated.
Thank you, Paul.